Hi everyone, I'm GREYMOND. I'm continuing to record the Q&A. These are questions that you left below my videos. And we will start with channel members. And if you would like to become a channel member, please click the join button. You get priority in Q&A. First question is, I have POCD which activated 2 months ago. And then after some time, old ROCD came back just when I was thinking, what if ROCD comes back too? Exactly. It's like as soon as you come up with the worser case scenario, right? Oh, what if POCD comes? Okay, POCD came. Well, now what if ROCD and POCD come? Okay, then that it just kind of one trumps the other kind of thing. So those themes are switching right now, but also sometimes I get thoughts about being attracted to my mother's sister-in-law, also HOCD, and what if something will happen to my parents? I try to treat all those themes equally, disregarding. Exactly. Choose to disregard them all. Whether it's this or that, whatever OCD grabs onto, I promise you this is all a lie, just coming in trying to scare you. So, just treat it like that. Person writes, I'm doing pretty well, especially thanks to your videos. I'm happy to help. Which I discovered right after OCD reactivation, so thank you very much. I'm happy to help. I like how you say reactivation. It's like activating. But it's true. It's like you can be fine one day and then in full OCD 10 out of 10 mode the next. That's how it happens for pretty much most people, I would say. So questions. Is switching themes a sign that I'm on the right track? Yes, because as soon as you start to disregard, your OCD activates even more. It just goes kind of on high patrol, trying to get you more into anxiety by bringing up everything under the sun, anything that you might be somehow sensitive to, it will bring up. So are you sensitive when it comes to family, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to being a good person? Okay, it will bring up all the opposites of all those topics. Because it's not like your brain is working against you, it just sees how scared you get. And if you get scared of something, it needs to bring that to your attention. And that's why it's doing that. So it's not like it's working against you. It just doesn't understand how the actual thoughts or any kind of reasoning behind the thoughts. It doesn't get it. It's like you're afraid of a red balloon. Okay, I'll send you all the notifications about red balloon, the color red, round objects, anything that's similar to it, I will send it to protect you. That's the essence of OCD. So just look at it as nice try, brain. That was a good try. Didn't quite do the right thing, but okay. Choosing to disregard. And it's like looking at it that it's just my next door neighbor talking. I don't need to pay attention. I hear it, but I don't need to pay attention to it. And next question is how to approach thoughts about future. Okay, and then one more thing I wanted to say. So, is it a sign that you're on the right track? Yes, it is a sign that you're on the right track. Because if you were not doing the right thing, you would still be stuck in that same first thought. It wouldn't move further than that because it wouldn't need to. You're already feeding it. You're already doing so much rumination, so much reassurance. Why would it move? But now that you're disregarding, it's just kind of like trying to throw everything against the wall to see what will stick. And your job is not to let anything stick. So yes, it's a good thing. I know it doesn't feel good when you're getting a million thoughts a day, but it is actually a good thing. And the second part is how to approach thoughts about future. Like in the future, I will have OCD about being attracted to my nieces when they grow up. In the future, my ROCD will activate again. My wife will be old and ugly. Or if I will have female kids, will I have POCD about them? So any thought that has to do with future that gives you anxiety, or okay, with OCD, sometimes people don't even get anxiety. They feel almost like an urge, right? Or they do feel an urge that, oh, I feel like I actually want this, right? That, like those kinds of feelings. So let's say if you feel anxiety or you feel no anxiety because you're feeling an urge or whatever, right? So somehow, but you're anxious about that, right? So if somehow it has to do basically with any sexuality, with any relationship-related thing, that is somehow triggering you, choose to view it as OCD. So any of your usual themes and any themes that are kind of variants of that, right? It's all OCD, neighbor talking, disregarding. And don't worry about the content of it. It really doesn't matter what the content is. It's people with OCD generally are very good people, very sensitive. So the thoughts that they get are the opposite of that. So very scary thoughts. That's normal. That's like OCD classic. So just look at it. All right, yeah, scary thought, whatever. Disregarding. And then 3, can you explain what are the things that can be considered as ruminating? Okay, so ruminating is analyzing, trying to figure it out, thinking too much about the past, thinking too much about the future, trying to understand something. Also talking to somebody about your OCD, not in terms of like the recovery, but in terms of actually dissecting it. Because that's just rumination out loud. So anything to do with that, I would count as rumination. Thank you for your question. Next question is, I'm dealing with harm and religious OCD in a form of Puro. How to push through the last 20% of recovery? So how do you push through the last 20% of recovery? Make a detailed list of everything that you are still doing. So any rumination at all, any little thing that triggers you, any little thing that you are avoiding. With religious OCD especially, there's usually a lot of avoidance behaviors. Well, and with harm OCD, there's also a lot of avoidance behaviors. So a very detailed list of anything. I would also suggest it would be a really good practice if you get somebody who is very close to you to also make a list of what they notice, because sometimes you might not notice all the things and they're noticing it from a perspective of somebody who hasn't experienced OCD. So something that you might, at this point, just because you've had OCD for so long, view as like standard behavior, they will view as OCD behavior. So sometimes it's good to compare lists. Just don't get into arguments with people of what's what. That's just their opinion. They're entitled to their opinion. But it can give you an overview. Kind of like just try to say like, okay, thank you for your input. I accept it, and give a few days to yourself to digest that input. What will life look like on the other side when we are fully recovered? I know you say intrusive thoughts go away completely, but do we still have normal worries, which I'm looking forward to? And that's what keeps me pushing forward, just looking for some inspiration how to get back or how to get to full recovery and not looking back. And so what would I say about full recovery? So when you are thinking less about OCD, little by little you start to think more about real life things. So it's kind of real life almost pushes OCD out. Right now the majority of the thoughts you have are OCD. As you start to feel better, the majority will start to increasingly be your real life stuff. So you'll still have worries, you'll still have various thoughts, but the anxiety will never be very high. You'll be able to think rationally. B, it wouldn't be connected to any of your OCD themes. It's just kind of the ups and downs of everyday life. I find that a lot of the times people think that they're feeling almost numb to real life stuff, just because when you have OCD, the emotions, the thoughts are so amplified that real life seems like numb compared to the level of emotion you're experiencing with OCD. And after a while that changes as well, because you get used to this new normal, right? Because before your normal was experiencing OCD all the time, right? So now your new normal becomes kind of subdued, going with the flow. Yeah, you can get some worries here and there, but they're just not that strong. And my last question is what to do about constant mind chatter about my themes that seems automatic. Nothing, it's just your next door neighbor talking. Don't listen to him or her. Another question is, I think I answered it in the previous one, but I'll answer it again because I think it might have gotten messed up with the the part 2 recording, which didn't go well. So the question is, whenever I try to tell myself that I need and want to do recovery, my mind, or maybe it's me, I'm not sure, it tells me, no, you actually don't. You want to live with these thoughts and maybe experience the feelings you get. The scariest thing is that it feels like it's actually true, that it is what I actually want and who I actually am. Do you think that this is still OCD? With these moments, when these moments happen, it's really hard for me to believe that it is indeed OCD. Yes, it's urges, thoughts, images, feels like I want it, feels like I don't feel anxiety towards it. That's all classic OCD things. So just look at it as, yeah, I promise you this is OCD, but now that you've gotten a little bit of reassurance, you need to push through and disregard it. This is your neighbor talking. You don't need to pay attention. This is not real things. It feels real. It is not. So you have to choose to disregard and just, yeah, okay, yeah, that's, I have this urge, or I have this thought, or yeah, I feel like I actually want it. Oh well, or those kinds of things. Choose to disregard. And then the second part is, I get really weird and strong feelings and sensation. It feels like I want to have them in the body, and when I try to ignore them, it feels like denial. Can OCD create false feelings and false attraction? Yes, absolutely it can. And that's what I'm saying, is just look at it as that's just OCD creating this. Don't buy into it. Don't buy into it. Look at it as, nice try, don't care, I'm not doing this anymore. It's the less you pay attention to this, the faster you will recover. I promise you. But you have to be brave and choose to push through. Otherwise, you'll just be stuck in it. With OCD, it's not like the thoughts can all of a sudden become real, but they can just, annoy you for the rest of your life if you pay attention to them for the rest of your life. It's like, you're scared of a red balloon? Okay, I'll send you a red balloon forever. So that's what I'm saying. You have to be focused and not giving in to the thoughts, no matter how they come in. They can, again, as an urge, as a thought, as I feel like I want it. Doesn't matter. It's all OCD. I'm calling its bluff. I'm disregarding, like that. Very, very strong position of power. You have to find that within you. I know it feels like, well, I don't feel in power. I don't feel good. But you have to find that within you to try to, at first, build up the tolerance. So disregard for a few minutes and then build up from there. Okay, so I'm going to disregard for 10 minutes. Did that work? No? Okay, then do 5 minutes, do 1 minute. And start to build that tolerance where I'm delaying it. I can think about it, but not right now. Right now I'm disregarding. And build the tolerance to where you can do for longer periods of time. Next question is, I'm confused because whenever I get an intrusive thought, I don't react with panic or extreme fear like I used to. Now now it's kind of like upsetting, setting feeling shame, but I try not to feel that emotion. Why is that? As you are going through it, as you are feeling better, as the recovery kind of sets in, you just don't react anymore. And then this is like the second wave of OCD, that why am I not reacting, right? And it kind of comes back with that. A lot of people experience that. So just look at it that you shouldn't be reacting to it. If you didn't have OCD, you would just take it like, okay, whatever. Whatever, they're just thoughts, who cares? Because that's how a person without OCD would take it. That's how you should be taking it. And that's how you are starting to take it. So this is normal. This is how it should be. Next question is, I have PRO, it's been 6 months of recovery, I work, but now my sleep is disturbed. I'm having intrusive thoughts at night, so what to do? So, with sleep, a lot of people have problems with OCD and sleep. The thing that you need to do is make a judgment call when you are in this situation in the middle of the night. Are you actually going to be able to sleep? If the answer, like in the next, say, 5 minutes. If the answer is no, TV, don't lay and ruminate. That's the worst. That's like the worst of the worst. Not good for my recovery. I can't do this. I'm going to get up and do something. Then, at the same time as you are doing this process, don't make it too much of a big deal. Like, just look at it as, oh my god, I will never sleep again, this is such a big problem, blah, blah, blah. You know, because it's the more you make it a big deal, so you just have to say, no, that's just an error, I don't need to pay attention to it. Next question is, if you're recovering from severe OCD, which also created anxiety disorder, you have been doing recovery work successfully, and the thoughts and intensity have reduced very much over the period of 2 months. You can focus on real things. However, the anxiety bounces back on its own and rises at certain times of the day, even without you having any thoughts. Is this normal during recovery? Yes, it's normal. It's just because it's only been 2 months, so it's just because you are feeling better in terms of it having fully healed. That's why it's sending you the thoughts the way it is. So just look at it as, yes, this is a normal part of recovery, and you just have to push through it until it's all over, you know? So don't judge how you feel, just judge your actions. What you're doing is what matters, not how you're feeling about it. This is the end of the Q&A. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. If you would like to join the program to make sure that your question is answered in the Q&A, because guys, I probably have over 200 questions right now, so obviously I can't answer them all. But if you would like to have your question answered, I do suggest joining the program. I will be doing another Q&A in a few days. If you would like to do the recovery program one-on-one with me, all the information for that is on youhaveocd.com. You can sign up from there and book the session through there as well. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow with a new video.